Welcome, guys, to the Wednesday 30-minute mentor series. We're just doing a Q&A to get today, so very casual. I just want you guys to be able to open up, share with me what you guys, the questions that you guys currently have, and I'll be able to answer those for you guys. I will do a couple announcements just so that you know and aware. And remember, Super Saturday is coming up September 23rd. So you want to check your Coach Online office under events and find your local Super Saturday event, and make sure that you get to that. Our Idaho Falls, Idaho group is going 3 hours south to the one in Salt Lake City because Tony Horton is going to be there. So Tony's going to be there, and we also have someone that's local to us, Micah Folsom. She's up here in Idaho as well, but she's going to be the guest speaker there. She's a two-time 15-star diamond coach. So we're going down there. We're not hosting an event here in our city, so we're going down to Salt Lake City to be with Tony Horton. If you guys know, I see Tiara on here. She is on my Team Cup, and she put in the group in our Team Cup chat thread last night that she was going to this Tony Robbins and Gary Vaynerchuk and the Shark Tank guy. What's his name? Mr. Wonderful, Kevin O'Leary, like going to an event with them. So I clicked that link. Realize it's in Salt Lake City as well on the Friday before Super Saturday. So we're going to go spend a weekend of personal development. So if you know anybody in Salt Lake that wants to go see Tony Horton or Tony Robbins, Tony Horton, Gary Vaynerchuk, and everybody at a pretty inexpensive price for that, then make sure you let them know. So that's Super Saturday. We also have Summit in June of 2018. Now is the time to make the decision and start planning to go to that event with us. Just go to www.coachsummit.com. So coachsummit.com, and you can check out the ticket prices and the dates there. We want you there with us. It's probably one of the key leading factors to our business and team being where it's at after 6 years is going to that every single year. So with that being said, let's. I don't want you guys to be shy and use the chat thread. I want you to just ask questions. I see one person on the phone, just ask me a question, and either I'll answer it or I'll ask someone on here that I know might have the answer. I'll have them answer it for you. So who's going to be the first? And I'm going to wait for you. Okay. All right. Everybody's being shy. But are we a team full of introverts like myself? Okay, while you guys think one, I'm going to answer a question I saw on the team page because I have a new coach named Chrissy Ballesteri. She has to work right now, and I know a lot of people work at this time. She says she has a couple questions, so I'm going to answer all of them in order. She says, I'm a first-time challenger and new coach, and so I'm grateful to be a part of this team. And then she says, I love that, right, by the way. First, before she asks a question, she recognized what she's grateful for. And then she says she has a question because she can't be on the call while she's working today. It says, I have the vital behaviors and invite process laminated on my wall in my office to refer to daily. I was wondering what other lists or processes coaches have, or maybe organized in a self-made manual and refer to daily. So now, first question is, what kind of, she knows the 4 vital behaviors: be proof the products work, do your personal development, invite, which means attract people, connect with them, invite them. And then number 4 is recognition. She knows those and has that down, but she wants to know what are some other lists and processes that coaches do to stay organized. So one thing that I do is, if you haven't watched it, I have a list of 10 things I do every single day as a coach. And I did it in a YouTube video. So you guys can search my YouTube video called Scotty Hobbs 10 Things I Do Every Day. It's the same 10 things. I'm doing the same 10 things today, 7 years later, that I was doing back when I started. It's the same process. Obviously, some things have changed and adapted because times change and processes change a little bit. Like 7 years ago, I didn't have challenge packs. We didn't have Beachbody On Demand. So things are going to change like that. But the principles, the 10 things I do that are more principles than process are the same things I do every day. So watch that video. Another thing is, if you go to the Team Dynasty page or the Scotty Hobbs personally sponsored coach page, I have as the banner, if you notice in the banner, I'll show it to you right now so you can see it and take a screenshot of it, because I know some of you guys are in the page.
Can you hear both?
Can I do what?
Never mind.
Okay. Oh. She hung up. It was the person on the phone wasn't muted. She was like asking someone else. So let me share my screen real quick and show you what I have for our team right here inside of the page. So can you guys see this? It's kind of like a system or a process. Okay, so here's what I do personally. I do my 10 things I do every day, and then here's my process. This is not the photo I'm sharing with you. The process that I do is I start a new challenge group on the My Challenge Tracker app every first Monday of the month, a new challenge group on the app, and a new Coach Basics for new coaches. Those two groups are like clockwork. The first Monday of every single month, I start that group. So I have that, and what I do is I allow people from the month previous challenge group towards the end of the challenge tracker in the group. I ask anybody if they want to be a part of the next group with me, so they've got to respond to me and say that. Then I'll bring them into the brand new group the next month, along with my new customers and challengers from my Success Club 10 goal that I usually have. So those new people come into the challenge group, whether it's a customer or coach, both of them, because I need my coaches to be great customers too. So that's like clockwork. That's what I do. So you could write this down. I don't have it written down because I just do it and it's been so consistent, but maybe I should make a thing like that so for you guys to see. But I do that like clockwork. Okay. And then I also have an ongoing free fitness and accountability group. Like I know some of you guys run like water challenges or like free clean eating group and stuff like that. I don't do that personally. I personally just have a free ongoing fitness and accountability group for the people that tell me no, but they want help. And so I kind of let those people coach each other in a way. Like I show up and I post what I'm doing in there, but I kind of let them coach and encourage each other. And then what happens is eventually one of them starts using Shakeology, becomes a paid customer, and they're still in that group and they talk about it, and then somebody else sees it and they kind of build that interest that way, or kind of more organically through multiple people. So I do that that's an ongoing one. So if someone comes to me, they don't want to be in my challenge group yet, I say, oh, well, I'll just let you be in the free accountability group. And obviously from there, I try to get them into Beachbody On Demand trial, or they already have workouts and I start them on the workout. That's what I do, and that's a monthly thing. The other thing that I do, so there's just a few of them, the two groups, Coach Basics and a challenge group on the app starting the first Monday of every month, the ongoing free fitness and accountability group, and then the last one is I run a coach sneak peek group with my coaches every 2 weeks. So every 2 weeks I'm running a coach sneak peek group, and that keeps me so busy in the invite process and sharing my story and getting my coaches to share their story. Because if you think about it, we start putting people in, like the group just ended on Sunday. We start adding people in like Thursday or like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The group runs through Sunday. And by Sunday, it's already 1 week or like 5 days until the next group is open. So because we have like a half a week getting people into the group runs for a week and then it ends. And then we're already inviting and setting up the group for the next week, even though it's every 2 weeks. So
I will take care of it. I'm just on a conference call.
I do. And give me one.
Please don't push on the fan.
Okay, so that's what I do is I run those groups. So that's my system or process to answer her question. And then I want you to look at this image right now. This is one that obviously someone that's better than planning it, me, and more organized than me on the team has put together. You can take a screenshot of it or take a picture of it with your phone right now. If you're on a MacBook, screenshot is Command Shift 4, and you can put a square around it and it saves it to your desktop. But there's kind of a monthly success plan to help you know what to do each week, aside from the 4 vital behaviors. So what I would do is just look at these things. Look at this, see if that's kind of your style. Look at my list of 10 things I do every day video, see if that's your style, or what I shared with you about my challenge groups, the free accountability group and the Coach Sneak Peek group, and be like, okay, I'm going to do that or something similar to that. And I would kind of create your own. But there's like 3 ideas of what 3 very successful coaches on our team are doing. And so remember, think of your questions while I'm answering these questions because I want to answer them. But the next question, and this is by Chrissy as well, that was the answer to her first question. The next one says, when is the best time to start a free group and move into the challenge and coach sneak peek for the best results for the people we're helping? So that's a great question. But what I want you to kind of understand about that is, like, every person is so individual and unique that you're working with, that when they're ready to sign up or buy their challenge pack or ready to sign up and become a coach is their timing. Like, there's no system that can be perfect, that everybody that comes in is ready to sign up at the end and like perfectly transition into a coach sneak peek group from into becoming a coach, into a coach basics, like everybody together, because everybody's so unique. But like, if you were to think of that, let's say you don't want to, like, I'm running 2 sneak peek groups a month because I want to help as many of you guys get your prospects into coach sneak peek groups. If it was just me as a brand new coach and I was an emerald or brand new diamond with 8 my personally sponsored coaches, I would probably just do 1, so I didn't overwhelm all my coaches with all these groups. What I would do is as a brand new coach, I would run like maybe a free clean eating group or some way to educate people on how to drink more water, cut out sugars, something like that. And there's templates I can drop in the team page later. But I would run something like that the first week. Okay, and then I would take those people that are interested in having fun with that, and do that, and then 1 week of inviting to the next week, which would be like a coach sneak peek. Take those people that are interested in starting to change their life and their health and fitness, let's say, and take them into a coach sneak so that you can then educate them on what Team Beachbody is, how Beachbody on Demand works, how the free coaching works, and all of that, right? And then the next week I would have just following up, inviting those people to become coaches. And as we know, no system's going to be perfect where they're like all sign up. And then the next week starts your coach basics for those brand new coaches that are ready, your coach basics and your challenge group. So you could take those that were in your free clean eating group where they got added value from you, see what you can bring them as a coach. You take those people, some of them want to become customers right away, some don't. You educate them in the sneak peek group a week later on Team Beachbody. They get to make the decision if they want to be a customer or a coach. And then the next week they can transition into becoming a customer in your challenge group or becoming a coach in your coach basics and your coach training group. So as a brand new coach, if I was leading a brand new little young team, that's what I would have, something very simple like that. I wouldn't do 2 coach sneak peeks a month like I do. I would do something simple like that where they can work together with you, help people for free in a group of some sort. It could be like a plank group. It could be a walking group, a water challenge group, something where you add value and teach them healthy lifestyle. And then to skip a week so you can invite those people, follow up with them, get them into a coach sneak peek, run that sneak peek with your brand new coaches and you. And then the next week they're starting coach basics or into your challenge group. So does that kind of help you guys a little bit of how you can kind of create a system for yourself? So what I do is just look at what your team needs at the current time and set something up for them. There's like 4 ideas for you that might help. So the last question right here is, does anyone have any experience with Shakeology and people going through cancer treatments? Are there any resources specific to this? So that's a great question. I know a couple of people that have gone through cancer, battled cancer, and one that are still battling cancer that are on our team. One of them, I'm going to post a YouTube link right here. And it's Katie Ersta. She's a part of this team. She battled and went through cancer and became an elite coach in that same year. It's pretty inspiring to think about. And she had doubts in herself because, she's struggling with what she's going through physically, mentally, emotionally. But she used that to connect with people. And so as I tell you guys this, I want you guys to think about, I know there's 10 of us on this call. All of us are going through some sort of struggle right now. And most of us are keeping it quiet and we're not talking about it. But if you can talk about it with people, the struggle you're going through, that's how you're going to connect with people in these groups that you're running, in the private messages that you're doing with people. And so watch Katie's video. I dropped it in the chat thread. It's just one of her videos. It's one of the shorter ones, but you can watch that and then watch as many of your videos as you need possible. But I just remember, hearing her live for the first time share her story. and she was just broke down in tears, like talking to her coach saying like, how could anybody be inspired by me? Like, who would want to be coached by me? And this is when she was going through chemotherapy in bed all of the time. And her coach said, who wouldn't want to be coached by you? It was just that simple phrase, who wouldn't want to be coached by someone as strong as you are? And so that was the moment of breath, or someone believing in her that she had the ability to help somebody. So there's some stories to answer that question on people that are going through cancer that are maybe using Shakeology or using Team Beachbody and being able to help people. So I hope that helps you guys out. So that's all. That's the 3 questions that were posted inside the team page. So time for you guys to ask me a question. I know one of you guys stirred one up, or what I just talked about stirred one up inside of you. What do we got?
Hey, Scotty, I have a question.
Yeah, who is this? So we know who we're talking to.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is Adrian.
Adrian.
There, right here. When you invite to a challenge group and then they say no, and then you put them in your free group that you say you have ongoing.
Uh-huh.
Because that's where I struggle with. I put them in a free group, but then it's only like a week long where I'll show them 5 moves, and I'll show them clean eating, but then that's it.
Okay.
Do you keep them in a ongoing free group, and then do you check in daily, weekly, monthly? Because I have an ongoing a water group, and if I don't post anything in there, I have a couple hundred people in there. If I don't post anything in there, it's dead. And then when I do, then it's oh, hey, how's it going? How do you do that when you invite to a challenge group, you put them in a free group? Do you check in daily or throughout the week, or how does that go?
Great question.
Or where do you post in there?
Yeah, so mine is a general health fitness. I just call it in my head, when I talk about it, it's a general health fitness motivation group. I just post my accountability. I post the same thing I do in my challenge group. Hey, today was a picture of Gabby after our shift shop day 2, second round day 2. I just shared that we did a workout. We got it done earlier than we thought because the kids were sleeping. So I just shared what I did. And so I do it daily. I post that in there daily. Because it's not a paid group, like someone that has invested, it's not a priority for me to post in there every day or to read everybody's comments, like everybody's comments, comment on everybody's stuff. But I do it every day. It's part of my list as I go through my group's discipline from I have them all in order. My top priority one is my Scotty's PS Coach page, then Team Dynasty. And so I have them in order. I go through it, and my free fitness group, I engage in it, and I put love and energy into it, but it's maybe only 15 minutes. It only takes me 15 minutes to read through, comment like, as many of them as I can. And if I have a super packed day, I'll just copy paste my post in there for the day, and I won't comment and like everybody's stuff. It's not a top priority activity. But that's the way that I run it personally. It's ongoing. People continually come in. And I have 2 of them right now. And one of them is just UK specific because I want to help them specifically. So I see Froso's on here, for example. She's in my UK group. And so she's in there, and she could attest on how active it is. Beth, I see Beth on here. Beth's in the group. But it's they're in there and sharing, and it takes time to create it. But if you put energy in it, Adrian, is realistically, I don't have to say anything in there right now. They work together and they comment on each other's stuff and encourage each other. So I don't have to be there, but I choose to be there because I want to be a part of it. And one thing I want you guys to know that maybe some of you guys don't know is I started a group very similar to that before I ever became a coach. It was the group, people wanted help, so I created a group. It was called the Staying Fit Family. And I started helping people in that group the same way that this group is running. And I helped them. And probably 30 out of the 52 coaches I sponsored in my first year in 2011, probably 35 of them came from that free group. And one was Jennifer Greenberg. Right? One was Becky, who's one of my diamond coaches. One was Melissa, who is one of my diamond coaches. They came from that free group that I started before I became a Beachbody coach. So I see there's value in creating that type of community in that family. And it's just fun, man. Like there's, for example, there's a plank challenge going on. There's like a squat challenge going on. There's a leg lift challenge, and there's a push-up challenge going on in that group. And I didn't start them. They started them. So it's kind of a cool place to create a community. So that's what I do, Adrian. And one other tip that I do that I guess that you can't see from the outside unless I tell you, is the people in there that I'm working with that are doing the programs start to finish. For example, I have coach prospects in there that are going to join as coaches when the time's right for them. Is I'll tell them, like I send them voice messages, and I remember like doing this to almost every single member, whether they are posting or not, sending them at one point a voice message like saying, hey, I really want you to engage in this group, share your ups and your downs, but I want you to understand that this is much bigger than you. Like, it's not just for your accountability. Like, you posting what you're going through is going to help other people in the group. So I want you to know that this group is much bigger than just about you and getting your results. And so kind of helping them, that kind of helps them understand their purpose in the group and their role. Because it'd be very easy to disappear and be quiet and be like a cricket if you don't know what your role is inside that group. So that's what I'm doing on the free group. Does that help you, Adrian?
Yeah, no, it does. It's just, yeah, no, it does. It does. It's just, I didn't know how you ran those. Cause like I said, when somebody says no, I put them like in a 5-day sneak peek. Well, it's a 5-day group. And then I'll show them like, an exercise or a move from lower body, upper body. And then, show them some recipes and what have you. But then after 5 days, it's done. I don't have like a group going continually. You know what I mean? And then I have that water group. And like I said, I got a couple hundred people in there, but it's just, if nobody posts in the water group, then it's stale. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I don't know if maybe, yeah, but what you said helped. I mean, I just need to basically, instead of doing a 5-day group and ending it, just leaving it open and continually adding people to it, I guess.
Yeah. And I don't want to make it, I want to be as real as possible with you. I have like 130 people in that group, and maybe only 30 of them post, but they are so engaged with each other, right? So if you have 70 not engaging, you have to understand that you're not failing. Like, it's looking at what is going on that's good and pouring energy and love into that. And then that's where that grows. So, okay, let's see. There's a question in the chat box, maybe. Oh, not quite. So, okay. Dwana asks, how many of your groups do you pre-schedule posts? So personally, Dwana, I am not a pre-scheduler. Everything I do is me getting on my computer and posting something in there. The thing that happens with that is, with our schedule and being full-time coaches for 5.5 years, when I'm traveling, it usually happens at like 12 o'clock in the morning, and I'm posting for the next day. Or it happens when I'm here at my house, it happens, between like 7 and 10 in the morning, depending on my schedule. So I'm just very disciplined in that. But one thing else I want you to understand, because it could be overwhelming. I've always done that, though. I'll understand I've always been like that. But at about 2 years, a little less than 2 years into my journey, I hired my first personal assistant. Okay. And at 3 years in, I hired my second personal assistant that helped me with my stuff. So currently right now, if I'm going to be, like, I was in New York City with my kids, I want to do the private messages. No one can do live videos like I can, because that's me. I want to do the private messages. I want to do the videos in the Coach Sneak Peek group. Those things that only I can do. I block out, because normally I work 6 hours right now outside of my workout in a full day. That's what I've chosen to work. I could work 12 or 24, as you guys know how this works, but I choose 6 hours. But when I'm on vacation with them, I work, for example, from like 10:30 at night to 2 in the morning. Or if we get in late, like we're at Times Square a little later than I thought, I'm getting in at 11:30, put the kids to bed. I work 12 to 2:30. That's the moment when I tell my personal assistant, I send him a message before I start working, hey, I'm not going to be able to do this group, like this, and this group today. Could you please put up a post for me in those groups today and engage with the stuff? So understand that because I think it's important that you guys know, like, you could be like, he works all day. It looks like he's working all day long, 24/7. I want you to know that I have help in those areas. I think that's important to know, because if I didn't know that from the outside, and saw Lindsay posting this group at this time, this time, answering messages at this time, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I'll never want to work that much. So understand, I work a solid 6 hours. That's it. At 3 o'clock every day, I shut off and I don't look at my phone. Rarely. Sometimes I will, like with my Team Cup, I'll like look at it because it's encouraging and engaging. I'll look at it and be like, awesome work, guys. But I don't sit down and work after 3 o'clock. I don't take phone calls. I don't do meetings. I don't do anything. So that's to help you guys if you're feeling overwhelmed as a new coach, to be like, how could I ever do what Scotty's doing when this grows? Just understand that aspect, that you can hire things out. So like my mom helps with Instagram. We could do a whole nother topic on that, but like my Instagram, I don't even have Instagram on my phone. My mom runs all of that for me. So there's some tips and advice for the long-term thinking on your business. Okay, so next question is, I know you like knowing your solid 6 hours of work and that you've been able to create that schedule. Yes. So, and as I built my business, I think it's important to know, because people say, I want to have the business that you have. And an important thing to understand too, is as you're aspiring to be like maybe Brigitte or Jennifer Greenberg or myself or any leader that you look up to, that David at Atkins talked about on our Hey Bro show on Saturday, don't aspire to be them or be like them. Aspire to have maybe the lifestyle that they have, but aspire to be the best version of yourself, or you're going to be lost. So as you aspire to do what Scotty's, don't aspire to be like Scotty. Aspire to have maybe a lifestyle similar to what Scotty has, and then aspire to be the best version of yourself. Because if you don't do that, you'll be lost. You won't be able to find your voice and connect with people. But he shares deeply on that, and I think that's an important thing to understand and look at as well. On that, when you're thinking like, okay, I want to have this lifestyle like Scotty, where I could travel, work 6 hours a day. Like that's the thing you want to aspire to. Don't try to be like me or anyone that you look up to. So, okay, what other question do we have? We got about 15 minutes. Don't be shy. I know you have one. You're on this call. And if your heart's racing, your breath's a little short, it means you're not nervous to ask. It means you're excited to get some new information.
Hey, Scotty, it's Carrie.
What's up, Carrie?
Hi, I have a gal on here that is looking at coaching, and she's interested in what all pertains to the business side. So I thought this would be a great picture for her to have painted. Can you talk a little bit about not getting overwhelmed with starting everything at once?
Yes, I think that's a great topic. And I'm going to give fourth vital behavior recognition to Carrie. Carrie had one of her downline coaches rank advance to diamond coach a couple weeks ago. And she was our guest speaker, Beth, on the 30-Minute Mentor series recently. So Beth is in Carrie's downline. So welcome. Carrie's friend that wants to know about Team Beachbody coaching. It can seem very overwhelming. Like I believe first and foremost that as you look at Team Beachbody coaching, that you look at it like anything in life that is going to take some work, that is going to have value or meaning or change your life. It's going to take work. So a couple of examples would be, and you're going to feel overwhelmed. It's a natural feeling, but there's a way to overcome it. Like I know Beth is feeling overwhelmed. I read one of her messages this morning and responded. She's starting her own online health business, starting a like page. She got professional photos taken, working on finding her first clients. Like all of that is overwhelming on a new path. So I always, the way that I look at it is like, I look at it like when you decide to go to college, let's say, because a lot of people have been to college. I'm a college dropout, so maybe I'm not the best to give advice on this. But when you look at college, let's say you're going to do a 4-year degree in, mine was pre-orthodontics, right? I go to the orientation. They tell me all of the classes I'm going to need to take over the next 4 years, how much it's going to take, right? And you look at that and you're just like, your mind's blown. It's just like, oh my gosh, there's so much to learn. And then you get your sign up, and then you got to like realize I got to find like a job to help pay for me while I'm in school. I got to get my room and board. Like I got to find where I got to live. I don't have a car at my college because I came from out of state or whatever. You do have your car and you're like, there's not part, like everything at once. Like you move into this new atmosphere. You got to get situated in a new life. And most of you are leaving life for the first time from your parents. And now you get to class and they give you your agenda or your schedule, the classes, you pick your classes and you see it, and you don't even know how to get from one building to the next for your class. And you're wondering how you're going to get from this class to that class. Have you guys ever felt like that, like at college or something in your life, or a new job, and they walk down and they're like, okay, this is what you're going to do. This is how you do this. I've been there many times. So think of Team Beachbody like that. Like you feel like that when you take on any new adventure. And then you just realize that in any of those instances, it always works out. Like think about being a parent. Like if you had to realize and understand how to raise a child that's a newborn, how to raise a 2-year-old, how to raise a 5-year-old, how to raise a 10-year-old, how to raise a teenager, how to prepare your kid for marriage. If you thought about all of that at once, you would be overwhelmed. So you just focus on what's right in front of you, the brand new baby, the poopy diaper, and making sure it's getting fed. Right? You just focus on that small thing. So think of Team Beachbody coaching as that, because there's a lot to learn. You can continually learn a lot of things. So that's what I love about what we have called the 4 vital behaviors. And it's be proof the products work. So it means do your workout program and drink your Shakeology and follow your meal plan. So make sure that you're transforming your own life and changing your own health and fitness so that you can share that with them. So you're not selling something, you're sharing something that's changing your life. That's number 1. Number 2, do personal development. Read good books, improve in areas of your life that you're struggling in. And because that's going to add value to yourself. It's going to help you believe in yourself a little bit more. It's going to help you understand that you can conquer and overcome hard things and adversity and trials in your life. And then what you can do with that is you can teach other people what you're learning. So you're adding value to yourself. Number 3 is invite is what they call it. And as I said at the very beginning of this call, I call it attract, connect, invite. So that's finding your voice, basically, your way to connect with somebody, to share your story, share your struggles, share your triumphs with another human being so they can connect with you and be like, you know what, Carrie, I know how that feels. I felt like that before. This is how I changed it. And then you can invite them to change their life through what we're doing, which is Team Beachbody coaching, which is doing the 4 vital behaviors, right? Doing the workouts, doing personal development. So the third one, which was inviting. And we talked about in here, which could seem overwhelming, like all these groups, running this, running that. In the beginning, heck, you could just invite people into a free group, help them, and then one-on-one, when they're ready for help, you call them, you have a conversation with them, and be like, Carrie, I understand what it's like. I believe this will help your husband with his arthritis. I've seen it help other people. You're struggling financially. This is how it's helped me financially. You're a good person. I know that you could help people and you could add value to people. You should be a part of this with me. And that's as simple as it is just helping people in that aspect. So, and that's the third one, is inviting. So inviting, that's basically what it is just finding out another human's needs, connecting with them and inviting them. And then the 4th vital behavior is recognizing. And I tried to show you guys a little bit about that by just saying, hey, like Carrie had someone on her team advance their business to a rank of diamond. That's recognition, just something so simple. And it's so simple in a free group. As you start, recognition is just saying, hey, I just want to give recognition to Chris. He's starting his journey, as he shared with us, at 384 pounds. And I just want to give him a shout out for being brave enough to get on a video and share with us why this is important to him, or why it's important to him that he loses this weight and changes his life. So that's what's the word? Recognition means. And so, like, I want to tell you guys, like, I feel like even when I had my full-time job before, I felt overwhelmed. Some days I got to work and there was so much work load that I felt overwhelmed. But all I had to do is just in my mind to myself say, okay, I have a lot to do. What are the most important tasks that need to get done today that are important, that are required? And then I just focused on those small jobs. And if I tried to do everything at once, I wouldn't get nothing done. So just to give you a small example, at my job, my role was to write the service manuals. It was to help run the service department and the shipping department. And I would try to ship stuff and take service orders and do manuals at the same time. And I was so confused and overwhelmed that I wouldn't get much done. So I would block out time. First 3 hours of work, I would write manuals. Then I would put that away. Then I would answer emails, take service orders, write up work orders, take the work orders out to the employees so they can build the products. And then 3 hours would be done. At lunch, I put that away. And then after lunch, I had 3 hours, and I would ship everything that got done in the service department. And I did it blocked like that. So I just would identify these are the things that need to be done. I allotted time frames to them, and I did them. So I feel, I guess, blessed in the way that I learned that before Beachbody. But what I do with Beachbody is I wake up, and like today I felt a little overwhelmed. I had this call today. I have a call with my UK coach prospects. And so I had smaller amount of time to do all the work that I normally do outside of the video chats. And so all I did this morning is say, what are the most important things for me to do? So if you're feeling overwhelmed as you're getting ready to start your journey, or as a coach that's already a coach, it's just following that same thing. I wake up, I say, what are the most important things? I woke up, I read 10 minutes of each one of these books in the 3 areas that I need to improve my life. And then I did my shift shop workout with my wife. And then I sent out some new invites. I followed up with the 20 people that I needed to follow up with. And then I checked into the groups, and I answered. Guys, I had 70 messages in my inbox. I answered 20 of them, and I was out of time. And I was okay with saying I did everything that was the most important today. So that's what I do, is just identify the tasks that are most important. And if you look at those tasks that I just told you, they're the 4 vital behaviors. I did my personal development. I did my workout. I did my invites. And then I did some recognition inside the team page when I went to the groups, and then did some on this team call. So I can go to bed today, even if I have 100 emails in my inbox and 5 groups I haven't checked into. And I can say, I did my best today because I did my best, and I gave what I had and the time that I had allotted to me, and I did the best I could. So if you're feeling overwhelmed with everything that you learn as a coach, understand that if you just do those things, like, and this can lead into, Carrie, this is the longest message for your friend ever, and for everybody on here. But if you're ever, like, one doubt that I had in the beginning of my journey, and that oftentimes when one of my coaches calls me and they're like, I don't feel like I can sign up my first coach because I don't know if I'll be a good leader. Right? I don't know if I can lead them if I'm barely learning how to do this myself. My answer is always this. I walk them through the 4 vital behaviors, and I ask them if somebody does these workouts, will their life improve? I go through the whole thing, right? Light workouts, drink Shakeology, and do the workouts. Will their life improve? The answer is, they always tell me yes. I say, if someone reads a personal development book and applies it to their life, will their life be better? And they tell me yes. And then they say, if somebody makes a genuine decision to make friends, connect with people, and invite them on this journey to do these things, will their life be better if they make that effort? Yes. And then I ask them, if you take time out of your day to recognize the good that people are doing around you in this life, will their life be better? And they tell me yes. And then I say, who should you invite to be a part of this journey with you? And I say, if everybody's life will be better from this. And they say, well, I should invite everybody. Okay. And then I lead them. So that helps them overcome the fear of, like, who should they invite to this journey? Who should be a part of their challenge groups, their free groups, whatever. Everybody can benefit. And then the next question that I ask them, which is to answer this about, can I be a good leader, is I ask them, okay, I tell them, I don't ask them, I say, here is my philosophy. This is the rule I created for myself. Because my whole life, guys, I've struggled with self-esteem before. So the last thing I want to do is sign someone up in a challenge group or as a coach and feel more like a failure. So like, I had this fear that I would, like, be a failure. I wouldn't be a good enough coach. I wouldn't be a good enough mentor. And so I created my own rules on what it meant to be a good coach and a good mentor. Okay. You guys want to hear what that is? Okay. So my rule is, so long as I am, and write this down, so long as I know what my purpose is as a coach, and I have written down goals, like, I'm clear about my purpose and my goals, as long as I have that, and I do the 4 vital behaviors every single day, and that's all I do, I am a great coach and a great leader. Because if somebody else follows that example, their life will improve. And that means that I'm leading them in some way. So that is the longer answer to, if you're feeling overwhelmed with everything, guys, there's probably half of the days that I show up to my business, that's all I do. And then I go to bed. And it still bothers me sometimes where I'm like, oh crap, I got like 50 more messages that I should respond to. And some people probably commented on the post that I just put in the team page, but I go in there once a day, right? And I should go back and check, but I don't. I just make the decision, like, I did everything that I was supposed to do today. And I'm a good coach. I'm a great coach. I did my part, that if people followed my example today, they will live a healthier, more fulfilling life. So if you're feeling overwhelmed right now, someone looking at being a coach or someone that's already a coach, that's the advice I give you. Be clear on your purpose and your goal and your role as a coach, and then make sure that you do the vital behaviors every day. And it's literally, I walk into my bedroom when I'm taking my contacts out at night, and I look at the mirror and myself, and I say, did you do everything that you said you were going to do today? And I can say yes. And I can go to bed knowing that I did the best I can. And everything to do, like, I have my list of 10 things I do every day, but that's not everything that I'm committed to doing everything. That's the ideal day. The thing that I'm committed to is those 4 vital behaviors and being clear on my purpose and my goals. So it's about time that we got to go. We got like 5 more minutes. So I'm going to look at these questions again. So give me 1 second. Lori says, I'm in my late 50s and I'm interested in building a Beachbody coaching business. Do you have any insight for where to find my tribe? Which social media platform? It seems like most Beachbody coaches are in their 20s, 30s, and maybe 40s, and not really my tribe. Oh, that was a private message, but I'm sure that's for everybody. Lori, that's a great question. And I personally have coaches on my team that are in their 50s. I've had coaches that are in their 60s. I'm personally 35. My last challenge pack was a Beachbody on all-demand, all-access challenge pack of a woman that's 67 years old that came to my house to watch the solar eclipse. Her health to her is just as important as my health is to me. And so she can be a part of my tribe. Like, obviously you want to find and connect with people that can build a business with you and be that like business partner that you're building this business with. But I believe that everybody needs the products and programs that we have. So I'm working with and attracting all of those people. And so I believe the best way for you to find your tribe, Lori, is to write down who it is that you want on your tribe. Like, if I think about anybody that's in the military that runs a business and a business or a company, I look at it like this. Like, let's say I'm Gary Vaynerchuk and we have and running his business. Like, or okay, this will be an example. Okay. Or I could look at my old company. The owner was in his, late 40s. But I was a part of his top leadership and tribe, and I was 26 to 29 years old, right? They don't have to be the same age as you to be in your tribe, okay? I look at it like that. Like I consider my personal tribe like 7-8 years younger than me to like 15 years older than me. So it's that literally, if you think about it, goes from like 27-ish years old to 50. That's my general tribe. And it's a pretty big group, but I think about, like, I've identified that that's what my tribe is. There's times in my journey as a coach where I've run ads. Like, I put in those ages, like 27 to 48 or whatever it is. Like, so you have to be very clear on what your tribe is, who you want. So I would just think about, there's trainings on from top coaches. If you just look them up, like, I think Janelle Summers has a great one. I just recently listened to one. Where did I listen to it? Where they were talking about your avatar, they call it, where you create your ideal customer or coach for your team. And you get very specific, because I believe God in the universe gives you exactly what you ask for. So if you can clearly identify, like, who do you want? It doesn't have to be exactly like you. You're going to attract likes, but you can identify exactly who you want. So that's important too. Like, when you're on social media, on the way you tell your story. And Dwana, I'm gonna use you as an example, and this is gonna be a teaching example. Dwana's great on social media, but I'm gonna give some advice to her from advice that I learned. Like, I share parts of my life where I felt low self-esteem, times when I've been depressed in my life, and all of that stuff. But here's what I found out about that. Like, I've attracted people I've been able to help. Like, I've attracted Dwana, and her life is changing, and she's one of our top leaders, right? But that's not always going to be the case, because if that's all I talk about, I'm going to attract a lot of depressed people into my tribe, and I want to help them, but I'm not a therapist. Okay. So if I want, like, I'll just tell you some of the basics right now, because I'm very clear about what I want. I want people on my team who are overworked, underpaid, and underappreciated. That's my top number one. I want to attract someone that's overworked, underpaid, underappreciated, that has a hard work ethic, and then wants to drastically change their family's financial, emotional, and their financial and emotional situation. And so I'm very clear. So when I'm messaging on Facebook or on a video, that's who I'm trying to speak to. And although I did pass through times where I've been depressed or I felt low self-esteem, you'll see now I don't talk about that much because I really don't want to attract that. Like they'll come, like those type of people come, they'll watch a video and I can help them and serve them the best I can. But if I want to build a team of people like me, like I've got to attract that person. So I've got to speak that language. So that's something that will help you identify your tribe, is just write out very clearly who you want on your team. Like think of it, sometimes you got to take out a Beachbody world and take it into, okay, if I owned Subway, who would I want as my employees? Would I want someone that doesn't show up on time, has low self-esteem, that's lazy, that can't commit to anything, that is not genuine, that lie? Like you get to pick all of that and decide who do I want in my tribe. Like I'll allow anybody into our tribe, but the ones that I'm working on attracting are those people specifically. Does that help you answer that question? Okay, so Lori, there's your answer to that. And Melissa says, what books are those? I saw Present Over Perfect. What else? And I'll tell you which books, but I'll tell you more importantly why I picked them. I'll tell you the order too, so you can understand my thinking. So number one, I'm a Mormon. A lot of people don't know what Mormons are. Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This is an easy study guide, in-depth study guide of the Book of Mormon. So I read this for my own spiritual growth. It's a New Testament of Christ. So that's for my own spiritual growth. That's what I work on first, and I'll tell you guys why in the order what next. The next one is called The 7 Levels of Intimacy, The Art of Loving, and the Joy of Being Loved. So that's the second one I'm reading. Has nothing to do with business. Has to do with me being able to build strong, long-lasting relationships with everybody in my life that I need a relationship with. My wife, my kids, my parents, my leaders, my challengers that are going to help our business grow. So I read that one second, and I'll tell you the order why later. And then this is the third one. And this is for, Carrie, for your friend that's a little bit about being overwhelmed. Like, I don't want to be overwhelmed. So I'm reading Present Over Perfect because I'm a people pleaser. I want to make people happy. But I can't make 45,000 people happy on our team, right? It's impossible. So Present Over Perfect is called Leaving Behind Frantic for a Simpler, More Soulful Way of Living. I've come to the understanding and belief that if I can not be so busy and live a more soulful, joyful life, that I can help other people build a business. Like, here's the basic way to say it. A frantic, overwhelmed, work 24-hour-a-day life as a Beachbody coach will, and by the way, you don't have to do that, will never be sustainable long-term. What will be sustainable is being comfortable with who you are and loving what you do and making sure that you enjoy the moments of life, like your kids and your relationship with your spouse, and focusing on the people and the relationships over the numbers and the building of a business. So that's to help me remember because my goal is to take this team from 45,000 to 100,000 coaches and develop new elite leaders. So in order to do that, I don't want to work more hours and put more stress on my family and myself. I want to do it in a way that's inspiring to people to live a life that you enjoy and that's fulfilling. So that's the reason behind why I'm reading these books personally. I read scripture first because I can't love myself if I can't love God and be obedient to Him. I can't build a business if I don't have a great relationship first and foremost with my wife and kids. And it's also to remind me, because there's times I'll be vulnerable that I've put in my business before Gabby. I've gone on business trips or Tony Robbins events and left her home with 5 kids. And so I've chosen to never do that again. So doing that first thing in the morning reminds me that she comes first before you guys. And then this one is, I just explained it. So that's why I have the order that I have on those personal development books. And I've read over 400 books, so that you know. But what I want you guys to understand about personal development is I just read to read. I didn't take time before to apply. I just read to say that I read this many books. I read one book a week for 52 weeks, and I did that for a few years in a row. And I learned a lot, and it helped me teach and whatnot. But this is helping me do it on a better level that I can connect with people. So, and I'll tell you guys what, like, I get all the time messages like, oh my gosh, your post on Facebook this morning was exactly what I needed to hear. Oh my gosh, that live video, like I've been struggling with, exactly what I needed to hear. So guys, do you want to know what I'm doing? I'm reading these. I'm taking notes. I'm thinking about how it applies to my life. And I'm like, okay, how can this help me? How can this help Duana and Adrian and Beth and Froso? And I take time quietly without ever looking at my phone. And then I say, okay, this is how it can help. This is how it's going to help me, or how it's helped me. And then I teach it to somebody. And that's how I've grown my Facebook from 224 friends to, I think, between the like page, my personal page, and followers, like 50,000 people. Right? And it came from doing that for 7 years straight, every day. And guys, I'll tell you one of my secrets. Sometimes I wake up and I read everything, and I'm sitting here like, I got nothing. And then what I do, I go on Time Hop, and I find something I wrote one of the past 7 years on this date, and I say, oh, that was good. And then I'll put a new picture up that's current. I'll edit the post from just 3 years ago. I'll edit to just 6.5 years ago I felt, and I'll retell the same story I told 3.5, 4 years ago. So just know that, guys, I'm not on point with my posts every day. I have something every day, but it's because I work on doing that like that. And then if I don't have something, I go back and find something that impacted people before, and I recreate it. And it's important to do that, I believe, because like you're going to have this, I have this, a different audience today than I had 3 years ago. They didn't hear that story 3 years ago, or they didn't hear that story a year ago. So that's going to help you guys with that. Okay, I'm going to read. Thanks, Duana. Duana knows my love language is words of affirmation. So thank you. I'm very fulfilled today. I don't need anything else to feel like I'm a great coach. Thanks, Duana. Okay, so Lori says that makes sense. Focus on who I want rather than age. Absolutely. To be honest, like I would rather have a 55-year-old, 60-year-old man that's sick and tired of working in a factory for the past 4 years, underappreciated, never valued for his time, can't take a vacation with his family, and hasn't been on a real vacation in 30 years, that has 8 more years in that factory, that wants to change that right now with Beachbody, than have someone that's 35 that's lazy, that jumps from job to job and can't stay focused. Right? So it's not the age, it's who you want on your team. So, okay, so I got to get going because Gabby's at a massage. My kids just came home from my dad. You saw they got my phone, so they make YouTube videos for their channel. So I'm going to go feed them and get on my next call in 30 minutes. So thank you guys for hopping on here. Thanks for asking some great questions. And if this helps you or anybody on your team, please share the recording. I'll put it up on YouTube. And we'll do more Q&As because I like this better than just getting on and teaching a topic. How many guys, do you guys like this style better than the topic? Or what do you guys like best so I can give you guys what you need? Both? Okay. We'll vary from both. We'll vary from like a specific topic from a top leader to doing Q&A. Okay. We'll see you guys later.